What up? Hey.
Jay.
Justin.
Nice to meet you.
Justin.
This is
What's
Jay's
up, buddy?
son, Evan.
What's your name?
Evan.
Evan. Nice to meet you.
Evan's
Evan.
my apprentice.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Greg. So, obviously you're kind of still new to the team a bit.
Yeah.
What's it like coming to New Jersey for the first time? Impressions and actually, let me go with this. Preconceived notions before you got here about Jersey, and how do those hold up?
Yeah, all the guys, as you probably know, they're all great guys down here, and we all communicated, talked throughout the whole year, and especially during spring training. So kind of coming up, I knew I was really excited, knowing that I was going to be here with a great group of guys, and that we're, especially right now, competing for a first place spot right now, trying to get into the playoffs. So it's been really, really good, and I've really enjoyed it all. And we're just trying to keep staying in that win column and trying to get to the playoffs right now.
Cool. Statistically, I think you're one of the standout guys in an everyday lineup when you look at a box score and things. Greg tells me on the way in, though, you're not playing tonight. When you get a day off or a day of rest, does that itch? Does that bother you? Like, do you want to be out there, or do you understand, like, all right, we got these handful of games, this week plus left, I got to get a rest day?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, just competitive nature that's just in me. It's obviously I want to be out there every day, but also knowing that it's a long season and that you do need your off days, and I kind of learned to kind of enjoy them and to really take care of my body and use it as just a good recovery day. So then the next day when I do come out, my body's fully at 100% and ready to go.
Anybody that's going to be listening to audio that I record or transcribe quotes that I type out, however I decide to use it, will know of your relations. Dad's Carl Crawford, big leaguer for years, kind of a big name in Major League Baseball for a while. Your game, how would you say parts of your game, what compares best to your dad, and what do you think might be different from your dad?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think our games are honestly quite the same.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny because when I was younger, I was always trying to be exactly like him, and it kind of would never work for me. I would always end up struggling. But then as I've gotten older, our games have kind of just grown into being very, very similar. It's really honestly kind of tricky and hard for me to even try to think what makes our games different. But I kind of like to just say I might be a little bit more of a polished player, but I think that's just because I've been able to be with him growing up in the clubhouse and in the locker room with him, being able to see what he does and how much effort and time he really puts into it. So I'll say that's a really tough question now. Because our games are really, really quite the same. But yeah.
You feel like you got 60 stolen base seasons in you and things like that?
We're working on it. I'm just trying to get to 50 right now. Okay. So but hopefully sometime down the road I can get up there, and I think I'm not too far from it.
All right. So we've been talking about one former major leaguer. There's a different former major leaguer right there. Brock Stassie's the hitting coach with the club this year. How have coaches helped you this year? Any difference between Clearwater and Jersey Shore?
Yeah, I think all the coaches from both levels, have really just helped me and I've been able to understand, let me do my things that work for me, and being able to help me whenever things maybe aren't going that way, and tweaking maybe certain things and just making little adjustments. But throughout the whole year, I think as a whole, with all my hitting coaches I've had, they've done a really good job of just being able to look at me and being able to do a great job of communicating if they see something that maybe might be a little different from what it was before, and just trying to help me get back to that starting point of where I know I can have great success.
Cool. My little guy Evan is behind me. You've met him already. He's making some noise and causing a ruckus. I was telling him on the drive over here a little bit about you. He was excited to hear, or gave me a big what when I told him your age.
Yeah.
Still a teenager.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to give guys that are younger than you, but you're still a young guy yourself, but if you had a chance to give young guys advice, is there anything from your experience so far as a pro that you might share with youngsters who would hope to play in college or professional?
Yeah, I think definitely take it one day at a time, and don't get too caught up in the outside noise, whether that be numbers, people talking, chatter, just anything like that. Just really try to stay, and it's obviously easier said than done, but really just trying to stay one step at a time and stay in the one moment and really taking it one pitch, one at bat, one inning at a time, because at the end of the day, that's all you can really control is being in the moment and just trying to be successful in that very moment.
Excellent. Now, the first question I asked was about, I was specifically talking about New Jersey, not necessarily the Jersey Shore BlueClaws, the facility here, Shoretown Ballpark. What did you know, or what were your impressions of New Jersey before you came here to play for the first time?
Yeah, well, I mean, when I first got here, I obviously already loved it a lot more than Clearwater, just because it's not so hot. I mean, the weather it's amazing out here.
Okay,
So being
cool.
able just to come out here and be able to kind of play in some cooler weather, I mean, I absolutely fallen in love with playing out here. So, but it's been really, really cool. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to kind of really go out and explore too much, just because, you know, at the field every day. But I mean, just from what I've seen, the people are really, really cool, and I won't ever complain about the weather. So it's been really, really cool, and I've really enjoyed being out here so far.
Excellent. You mentioned kind of being around clubhouses and your dad, growing up. Are there guys from your really young days besides your dad that you might have picked up a lesson from or have memorable experiences watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to just say one, because, I mean, there's so many I've been fortunate enough to be around. But I'll say the one that sticks out to me the most is probably D. Gordon. He was one of the guys where him and my dad were close when they were up there in LA with each other, and he was kind of a guy that always took me under his wing, and even still has me under his wing till this day, and just a great role model, a great player that I love to look up to. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to have him in my life, to be able to just look up to and get great information from him.
That's real cool. How often are you in touch with your dad or D or others, people that are more seasoned professionally? Do you hear from somebody nightly? Do you get texts? Do you get phone calls? How does it go?
Yeah, I mean, we talk pretty frequently. I mean, I think my dad understands and kind of knows that when I'm in season and I'm rolling, he kind of just lets me chill out, because he knows how it was for him. And when it's like, when you're working every day, long season, you kind of don't want to be bombarded all the time with text messages. So he's done a real good job at hitting me up whenever maybe I might have gone a few games scuffling a little bit and might want to check in on me, or even if I am going really well, I'll constantly checking in. But I mean, him and a few other guys, they've done a really good job this year, and just knowing that I have that support team behind my back, and it's definitely made this year a lot easier for me.
Did you have goals for yourself coming into this year? You talked about, maybe I jokingly brought up stolen base achievements and things like that. Was there any specific goals that you had, and did you meet them?
Yeah, well, I think my big, broad goal for this whole season was getting up here. So being able to actually get that call and be able to come up to Jersey, I mean, that was something where it was like, I felt really, really good, and to know that I'm one step closer, it feels really, really good, and knowing that I just got to put my head down and keep working hard to hopefully get to, obviously, the end goal, which is the big leagues. And again, knowing that I'm one step closer, it's something that's really, really cool, and ready to just keep going.
Excellent. We appreciate the time. I do have one final question for you. Will you take a photo with Evan?
Oh, of course.
All right. Very cool.